For the reading, I chose this poem by Robert William Service because it goes along with the morning's themes of wisdom in proportion, of awareness, and perspective. It's called Wistful. Oh, how I'd be gay and glad if a little house I had, snuggled in a shady lot with behind a garden plot, simple grub, old duds to wear, a book, a pipe, a rocking chair. You would never hear me grouse if I had a little house. Oh, if I had just enough dough to buy the needful stuff, milk and porridge, toast and tea, how contented I would be. You could have your cake and wine, I on cabbage soup would dine, joking to the journey's end, had I just enough to spend. Oh, had I no boss to please, I'd give thanks on bended knees. Could I to myself belong, I would fill the day with song. Freedom's crust is sweeter far than control and caviar. How my ragged hat I'd toss if I didn't have a boss. So you may see my point of view, but there's nothing I can do. Oh, the weariness of work, duties that I may not shirk. Though simplicity I crave, I must go down to my grave, bossed by bullion, crossed by care. Just a poor damn millionaire. My love of knowledge, Sir Socrates tells me over bread and oil at my kitchen table, has compelled me to wander over the globe in the ages since my death. I've learned so much, it's a wonder I know anything by now. He dips some bread and chews it thoughtfully. You are familiar, perhaps, with the sage's paradox? His keen eyes bore into mine. I shrug. His bare feet shuffle on my wood floor. It says, he says, the more I learn, the more I know I don't know. Sir Socrates has appeared to me again, this time inside my home. I'm delighted and awed at the same time. How does one dialogue with such a learned guest? I was wondering, I comment, when you learned such good English, didn't you speak Greek in your lifetime? Yes, but I first came to the USA in 1909, in your years. Spent time in Cincinnati learning English and automobile and bicycle and farm implement and several other languages. His eyes clouded. I put in another appearance in late August of 1945, but everyone had gone mad with joy and insane with the victor's righteous rationalization. And I was frightened, so left forthwith. I let that one go unchallenged and pull out my smartphone to check the time. Now I'm in, what year did you say this is? 1970? 2017, I correct him. 2017. Say, what is that little box you're holding? This, I ask, holding up the glowing screen. It's a cell phone. What in blazes? Does it have a fire inside it? How does it not burn through? I chuckle. No, don't worry, no fire. Well, a sort of fire, like lightning, but very tiny bolts and controlled quite well. No danger. Socrates does not quite look convinced. What is it for? I just checked the time on mine, I say. Remember hourglasses, sundials? These days we use cell phones to tell us the time. See these numbers? It's 6:22 p.m. and 15, 16, 17, 18 seconds. Is there sand in there? No sand required. Remember, it's the tiny captured lightning that does the work. We call it electricity. It's stored in tiny bottles we call batteries that run down over time and have to get their electricity recharged or replenished from those receptacles in the wall over there or there. It's how we do things now. Sir Socrates sits in silence for a bit. How long is a second? It's about as long as 3 or 4 syllables, like 1001. He reflects on this. Then he asks, why? Why what? Why would a sundial in the garden not do as well as a lightning box you carry with you? Why do you need to know precise time? To within a second? So we're not late. Late for what? For the departure times, so we don't miss our flights. For starting times, so we're not castigated for being lazy at work. So we don't miss our connections and appointments. So we're not late to church, so we don't miss the kickoff of the game. These things are important to you? Yes, very. They determine if we maintain a job that pays us money so we can survive and thrive. They build our reputations and social connections. They bring us entertainment and relaxation so we so desperately need after the stress of punching a clock all week. Sir Socrates pauses to give me a piercing look. The sundial in my garden gave me a close enough reading on the time without adding 1 iota of stress to my week. Have the times progressed from ancient Greece? This cell phone clock I dodged, changing the subject, also has a timer, a stopwatch, and an alarm clock. I don't have to wait for the sun to wake me. I can set this baby to blast at any time of day or night, and it will faithfully rouse me. I can be awakened, for instance, in total darkness before the sun even thinks about rising. How many people, asks Socrates after a moment's contemplation, carry one of these lightning boxes? Oh, pretty much everyone in the developed world, I assure him. There are different brands that differ slightly, but you can rest assured they pretty much all have clocks. What would happen if someone decided not to heed the clock on a given day, or week, or month? Sundials in the garden only. I ponder. At the very least, there would be people quite annoyed with those people. At worst, there would be financial fallout ranging from mild to severe. That would be highly inadvisable. So you might say, the sage muses, that since you have the tool that offers you utterly precise timekeeping, your society has developed a fixation for utterly precise scheduling, and these factors make everyone voluntary slaves to an utterly precise clock. Yes? I gulp some wine and make no answer. Just then my phone rings. Sir Socrates startles. Excuse me, I say, and answer it, because it's my daughter, Rachel. Hello, Rachel, I say. Guess who's back? Sir Socrates. Yes. Could I call you back later? Okay, I love you. Bye. I push the button to end the call. Remember my daughter Rachel from the lake last summer? She says to tell you hello. Sir Socrates looks behind him, then quickly to either side, then out the window. Where is she? She's in East Texas, where she lives now. She often calls me just to chat. We'll do it later. But she wanted to send her greetings to you. I didn't hear anything from her. How do you know what she wanted? Let me try it again. I redial Rachel's number, this time on speaker. I let Rachel say hi and make some small talk with Sir Socrates, then take her leave. But this is amazing. This is wonderful, gushes the old man. She is far away, you say? Yes, about 180 miles, roughly the distance from, say, Athens to Thessaloniki. But I heard her voice plainly. Yes, you were using what is called a telephone. Of course, tele meaning distance and phone meaning sound. You still use Greek words? Mainly for scientific and medical terms, but yes, Greek is still important to us. Do you approve of the invention called the telephone contained in the lightning box? Amazing! Wonderful! Unless it disturbs my dinner. Can you turn it off? I beep a button a few times and the beep goes away. There, I say, no more telephone ringing to interrupt us. I set the phone on the table, but just as I do, it vibrates. What is that? He asks. It's a text coming in, I say, glancing at the screen. Oh, please excuse me for a second. I need to answer this. I click some more buttons as Socrates waits patiently. What is a text on a lightning box? Socrates wonders. I show him the texting screen. How did you get letters to appear there? I show him the virtual keyboard and poke a few letters to demonstrate its use. You mean you need no stylus or tablet, clay tablet to make those letters? That's right, just the press of a virtual button does it. I see no button, but my teachings are based on virtue. Is it a good thing to use the lightning box to make texts? Of course it is. Everybody knows that. Ah, says Sir Socrates. He continues to study the screen showing my text. Why are those clumps of letters two different colors? He asks. I explain. One color is for what I write. The other color is for what the other person writes. What other person? The other person who wants to communicate with me using texting. They can text me from anywhere in the world. A phone call could be made. So someone interrupted your dinner from somewhere else in the world to message you with letters they made with their fingertips. That's right. And it's pretty much instantaneous communication. Isn't that great? If your lightning box lets you talk so the other person can hear you, why don't you just telephone talk with the other person instead of spelling words? Wouldn't that be quicker? He takes another bite. Maybe you don't want people around you to hear what you're communicating. Maybe you're in a meeting and you want to text something personal and private. Maybe you're in a public place and you want to communicate a secret idea. Texting gives you the option of silent, fast contact. Socrates has stopped chewing while I'm talking. He slowly restarts, swallows, has some wine. After I completed the education of my youth, I did not write much again. Scribing with a sharp stylus on wax or a soft clay tablet was for others, not for me. But this instant dispatch of messages, what an amazing thing. Yes, but we're so used to it, we don't even think about how amazing it is. Pretty much everybody texts now, especially the young people. I taught school, and I can tell you, you cannot stop teenagers from texting each other. So they are assisting each other in learning? Well, not usually. They are usually socializing via texting. even during class. Is this considered a virtue by your culture? Not by the teachers. At least, says Sir Socrates, they're reading and writing. They must be so good at reading, given how much practice they get. Sorry to say, but no. While texting, they use a strange version of the language that doesn't correspond to any other writing. So when they try to read great literature, it seems foreign to them. Many of them don't read anything at all other than texts. Oh, says Sir Socrates, is this considered a virtue? No, I say, no, it's not. Would you like to get some ice cream for dessert? We get into my car and drive to 7th Street. We walk toward the ice cream shop. The sidewalks are busy. Ah, the agora in the evening, exclaims Socrates. I feel at home here. Suddenly he stops. Why is everyone looking at a hand while walking? Sir Socrates, I say softly, they're all staring at their cell phones, their lightning boxes. It's as if they're entranced, he notices. Are they enchanted by their lightning boxes? You could say that. These smartphones are rather addictive. With all the things they can do, the beeps and whistles and flashes and ways of grabbing attention back, in case yours has wandered away momentarily. Socrates slowly turns in a circle, watching people all around. He looks back at me. Do you ever worry that some evil genius is stealing your minds? Steve Jobs. What? Never mind. We arrive at the ice cream shop and stand in line. The beeps and whistles are obvious when not tuned out. Two pretty girls put their faces together and smile sweetly while one holds her cell phone above her head at arm's length. Then they giggle as they look at the screen. What was that about? Asks Sir Socrates. That's called taking a selfie. Here, let me show you. I take out my cell, switch the camera, take a shot of us two. I show him the shot. That looks like you, he says. But who is that other? Oh my. How is that possible? Is there a tiny artist also inside the lightning box? No, Sir Socrates, I laughed. This is called a photograph. Get it? From the Greek. Light writing. The camera incorporated into the lightning box takes in light and makes a drawing, or in this case, what looks like a realistic painting of it. He gazes at the screen. In my day, I was considered ugly. But I'd say I look fairly good for someone as old as I am. Wouldn't you agree? His eyes twinkle. We're at the front of the line and order our desserts, find a table, and begin eating. I hold the phone to my mouth and say, "Okay, Google, say something." "Excuse me," says Socrates. "Wait," I whisper, "not talking to you." My phone says, "Hi, voice maestro, how can I help?" "Who said that?" asks an alarmed, very, very old man. I ignore him and speak into my phone. "Show me pictures of Socrates." Right away, the woman's voice returns. "Check out these pictures of Socrates." Up pops some marble busts and statues of Socrates. One of them has a Socrates quote on it. I touch it and it expands to fill the screen. Does this look like you in your day? Sir Socrates has eyes as big as saucers. How? Where? He shakes his head. I don't understand. It's a bit complicated to explain, but much of the world's accumulated information and knowledge is available at our fingertips or by spoken command, instantly. Knowledge is virtue. The world must be quite virtuous now. He sighs. What form of government do you have? A democratic republic. Ah, and you say almost everyone has one of these lightning boxes that can instantly find knowledge? Yes. I was 71 when I drank the hemlock. He gets up from his cup of melting ice cream and does a Greek dance. Suddenly, everyone looks up from their cell phones. A 71-year-old could learn so much with one of these devices, he says, and could share it. And a nation could become so well-informed and virtuous as a result. Tell me, he stops dancing and grabs my arm, is this the most harmonious nation ever? Do your citizens value knowledge and contemplation like I did? Actually, we tend to value things that make us laugh, like kitten videos and funny sayings. That and gathering information to prove the other guy wrong. That's what we mainly use our cell phone knowledge gathering for. Sir Socrates sits heavily. He stirs his soupy ice cream. He sighs. Kitten videos? He sighs again. Was I wrong to think knowledge was virtue? No, Sir Socrates, absolutely not, I insist. You influenced pretty much all philosophical thought that followed you. It's just that knowledge these days has far surpassed wisdom. We don't seem to know what to do with all our knowledge. In fact, there seems to be a movement to outright reject knowledge because it's just too hard to think about. We need to continue to value knowledge and compassion and justice. But Socrates is beginning to grow cloudy. Thanks for the hospitality, he says. I shall see you again. And he is gone. I sigh. I didn't even get to finish telling him about respect for the interdependent web of all existence, of which we are a part.